thank everyone for coming out today. We appreciate you joining us. We're excited to have Tabitha with us from UnitedHealthcare. Many of you may know her, and if you don't, you should get to know her. We appreciate, Tabitha, you taking time out to come and join us to talk about all the great things UnitedHealthcare are doing, why agents should be representing UnitedHealthcare, and maybe even some upcoming things that they can expect from UnitedHealthcare. I know you guys have had some new things happen. So again, we appreciate you coming out to go over those with us. This webinar is going to be recorded. So if you would like to view it later, it will be on our YouTube channel. Please feel free, go ahead, check that out, subscribe. We've got a lot of great videos with different products, carriers, sales tips, marketing, you name it. Feel free to go out there and explore. Additionally, we will have this in listen-only mode. So if you do have some questions, feel free to just type those into the box. And as we go throughout the presentation this morning, we will try and answer those as best we can. If we don't get to them through the presentation, we'll try and answer some of those questions at the end of the presentation. So again, thank you for joining us. We look forward to doing business with all of you with UnitedHealthcare. And I'm sure Tabitha will get you fired up to represent them if you're not already doing so. So again, Tabitha, hey, thanks for joining us. I'll turn it over to you.
Hey, Jason, thank you. Yeah, I'm going to try to get everybody fired up on a Monday at 11. That's a tough call. That's a tough task, but I'll do my best. Best thing I can promise you is that I'm going to try to make this as quick, painless, simple, and short, so you guys can get on to selling, which is what's most important. I did want to give some important contact information and update regarding the UnitedHealthcare Medicare team here in Michigan. So just as a reminder, Sue Fisher is our sales director. I am the growth manager along with Natalia for Southeast Michigan. So Natalia is probably on right now, actually, and hopefully will be helping me manage some questions in the chat. But Natalia is new with us, so be careful. We're not trying to throw her to the wolves just yet. So some of those difficult questions she might need some assistance with, but feel free to reach out to myself or Natalia for any of you agents that are in that Southeast Michigan to Southwest Michigan. So anywhere from Metro Detroit all the way to Kent County on the west side. And then Tony Griffin is located in closer to the Saginaw area. So he's kind of taken everything, all the questions from agents kind of north of that Mason-Dixon. But of course, you can reach out to any of us at any time for any questions. Feel free to take a photo of this or take a screenshot. You might have noticed an email from me earlier this morning with a bunch of important documents. If you didn't receive that, feel free to also, you can reach out to me or reach out to Natalia, but also feel free to reach out to your IAD team. Cass and Kristie Strauss also have those documents and have them saved, and they were CC'd on that email. So if you didn't receive that email from me this morning, it had a bunch of really important UnitedHealthcare documents, a few of which we're going to refer to later in this presentation. So it's great if you can just go in there, save all those files in one folder, label it as UHC on your computer or your desktop. And it's great for a quick reference, and it'll help you avoid having to go and look for them on the website later. All right, so quick just updates and points. I did want to mention that we did expand. For those of you that were living under a rock during AEP, we did expand into some important areas. Specifically, I wanted to highlight that Kent County, Grand Rapids area. I know even for Southeast Michigan agents, there's a lot of business in that Grand Rapids and also Kalamazoo area. So we did move everywhere where you see that light colored blue is where we've expanded into. And then any of those boxes where you see a blue, an orange, a yellow, if you see a color there, we've got the full portfolio, meaning we've got our Medicare Advantage and our DSNP. One person who wasn't mentioned in the last slide, but I did want to make an important call out because we're looking at the map. As we all know, MedSup is everywhere. It is in all counties, in all states. So just a reminder, if you ever have any questions regarding MedSup or any escalations or any issues regarding Medicare supplement products, you're always going to want to refer those questions, issues, escalations to Tina Johnson. You can reach her at Tina_H_ Natalia_Johnson@UHC.com. And I'm sure Natalia will be happy to put that into the chat for all of you as well. So I wanted to bring something to your attention if you weren't aware already, something really important, really easy for you. So for all of you that are on this webinar or that will be seeing it later, that like most agents sell in multiple states at a time, we have the Medicare product portal available in Jarvis. So all you have to do is log in with your single sign-on into Jarvis, same place you would do enrollments or look at your applications or look at commissions, any of that stuff. So you log into Jarvis and under tools, even if honestly you scroll down to the bottom of that first homepage, you'll see a little toolbox that says Medicare product portal. When you click on that, you're going to see this. You're going to see a home screen under plans that's going to be a full map of the entire country. If you click on the state of Michigan right here, it'll tell you the amount of plans that we have currently. So if you're somebody who was like, hey, how many plans am I licensed and, appointed to offer for UHC in Kansas, you'll be able to see that number right away. But what's really cool is you'll be able to click on the state and then look at all of the UnitedHealthcare, Medicare Advantage, and DSNP plans available there. You'll be able to compare the plans. You can click on a few at a time if you just want to compare MA, if you just want to compare DSNP. Once you click on the state, it'll also break it down into counties, just like the previous map I showed you, where you're actually able to click on Oakland County and it'll show you all the plans available for your client in Oakland County. You can click on multiple at a time and compare. You'll be able to put in your client's LIS level in the top left corner and see how much they would be paying for those plans if they have this level of LIS. You're actually even able to see key metrics that UnitedHealthcare national marketing did all the work for. So basically, you're able to say you want to expand into the Wisconsin market, for example. You're able to click on Wisconsin and click on a county and see the key metrics. See how many dual eligibles live in that county and how much market penetration is already there, how many Medicare eligibles, all of that good stuff. So you kind of are able to decide strategically where you want to do marketing in that state or in that county, depending on what the availability is looking like for consumers. So lots of really great stuff in that Medicare product portal. So if you ever have any questions about, hey, what's the OTC benefit? What's the dental? What's this? What's the MOOP? You're able to just go into Jarvis, Medicare product portal, click on where you want on that map and see what plans are available in that area. And you're able to see comparisons. And I'll show you an example of that. But before I do, I wanted to point one more thing out to you. There's a button up at the top as well that says local support. I love this button because for those of you, again, that do sell in other states, sometimes you come across an issue or a question or an escalation regarding a client or a product with us in another state. And if you reach out to me regarding an issue or a question about a plan in Kansas, I'm probably not going to be able to help you because I am not trained on the products. Unfortunately, I know, disappointment, but I'm not trained on the products in Kansas. But I can tell you who is. So if you click on local support, you can also choose the state and even the county of a plan that you're looking at, and it'll show you everybody who does my job in that state, which is really awesome. And even it breaks down to even where the region is. So, if you're selling in Texas, you can even put in, Dallas versus Houston, and it'll tell you what growth managers are in that area to really be able to assist you. And they'll be able to assist you with anything from questions and escalations, even to, hey, I live half the year in Arizona and I want to do some events while I'm down there. What can you help me with? So just wanted to point a couple of those things out. And again, just the Medicare product portal, you're able to single sign on, you're able to see, rewards earning potential. You're able to look at in-network and out-of-network benefits. So if you have questions about that, depending on those PPO plans we're about to get into, you're able to see what the differences are between those and toggle through. And so this is what this actually looks like. If I go into the Medicare product portal, click on Oakland County, Michigan, Oakland County, and then I click on the 3 dual plans and do a comparison, it brings it up just like this. And I know that the wording here and the lettering It's very tiny. It's very small. I'm sure no matter how big your screen is right now, you're probably like, can I get out my like third bifocals to take a look at this? This isn't necessarily up for viewing for training purposes for these three plans. I know all of you guys are seasoned veterans in the agent selling game. And of course, you guys can pull this stuff up. I did send it to you in those emails. So this is in there, by the way, if you wanted to refer to it and kind of blow it up and look at it in deeper detail. But you guys can go through line by line and compare these plans. You don't need me for that. I'm for all the other stuff, the marketing, the growth, the really understanding how to sell the plans, any business development, lead generation, which brings me to a great point. And I know Jason and I have talked about this at great length. If you're in our lead Salesforce platform, which is called Mira, Mira, great. Please reach out if you have any questions. If you've never heard of this, you don't know what I'm talking about, or you've heard about it and you're interested in participating in our lead platform, it is through Salesforce. So you will have to get comfortable with using that Salesforce platform. Which some people find easier than others, especially, given how diverse the agent population is. Some of you guys are going to be more comfortable with technology and some of those platforms than others. And some people are like, I don't like that. I like my old school, give me a printed out copy of my leads. Or I use a lot of referral base. This isn't quite that. It is going to be a little more technically required. So if that's something you're interested in and up for, by all means, please reach out to myself or Natalia. We would be happy to send you to the Mira X training, which is preemptive. Once you get through that Mira X training, it's just a 90-minute session. It is lengthy, just 90 minutes. It's a 90-minute session. But once you get through that, if you're still interested, we'll put you in the platform, we'll give you a shot, and we'll start sending you leads. So if you're interested, reach out to myself or Natalia via email, and we'll get started on that. I did want to highlight to you as well that when you make these shopping sheets, just be mindful. It does say it on the bottom, but don't forget, this is for agent viewing purposes. This is for educational and for comparison purposes for you. If you're looking something that's going to be consumer facing, which is approved by CMS, you're going to want to make sure you pull out one of those shopping sheets from the toolkit before you use that in like sales presentations and sales meetings. So just keep that in mind. And then one other thing I wanted to highlight to you is that this third little column here that's got the little half moon, that is signifying our partial DSNP plan. And again, I did send this document to all of you in that email. Reach out to myself or to the IAD team if you need that email forwarded to you, but I did send it this morning just to bring it up to the top of your inbox. We do have a partial DSNP. So if you've got a lot of clients who lost their Medicaid recently or lost part of their Medicaid so that they're on a spend down and they no longer qualify for a full dual, we have a partial DSNP for clients who are on that spend down. I want to highlight three things to you super quickly. Although it is an HMO plan, you might be thinking as an agent, why might I put my client in a partial DSNP versus just putting them on a regular MAPD plan, whether that's a $0 or a $33, right? Because even though your client lost Medicaid, they probably didn't lose their LIS status because that's through Social Security and that's separate through Medicare. So they're probably still low income qualifying, which means they won't pay the $33 a month in an MAPD premium. So why might I put them on a partial versus that? I want to highlight three things super quickly that are going to be a differentiator. One is going to be $0 RX copays on all levels. So if your client has a tier 4 prescription drug that's covered and normally would cost them a lot in copays, you might want to consider putting them on a partial versus an MAPD if they qualify because they'll never pay any RX copays. That's number one. Number two is going to be that OTC healthy food and utilities benefit. It is significantly lower, of course, than the full dual benefit. You're looking at about $68, so almost $70 a month, but that's still $68 a month that they would be getting that they could use on groceries per month. And that's something that you're not going to see on a regular MAPD plan. So that's differentiator number two. And lastly, transportation assistance. So for those clients who might be teetering, they don't have very expensive prescriptions. They're not sure if they need that food benefit, but they definitely need some transportation assistance that they're no longer getting through Medicaid, that's definitely going to be a great option for them. So again, for that differentiators, we're looking at three main ones: the OTC food benefit. We're looking at those $0 RX copays and transportation assistance on that partial. Just wanted to highlight that because I know there's not many partial DSNP plans in the state of Michigan for consumers, so that's an important call out. All right, so speaking of our PPO plans, so all of our Medicare Advantage plans for UnitedHealthcare in the state of Michigan, our traditional MAPD, and our Medicare only plan, Medicare Advantage, without the PD part, all of those are true open network PPO plans. They are non-differentiated. This is the point where I usually like to ask for a raise of hands of how many people know what that means. Just for ease of this presentation, I won't ask, but I'm sure a lot of you do know that non-differentiation, so bear with me, non-differentiation means that if your client goes in network or out of network because it's an open PPO, they're not going to pay anything different. Right? So a lot of us are used to those open PPO plans where, okay, you do have coverage to go out of network, but at a higher copay. Because our Medicare Advantage plans are true open network PPOs and they're non-differentiated, your client won't pay extra if they go out of network for their primary or their specialist. So if their specialist copay is $30, it's going to be $30 whether they go in network or out of network. They're going to pay the same. They can go to any provider in the state of Michigan that will agree to bill us. It doesn't matter if the provider's in network or not. It doesn't matter if you go into the Rally or provider lookup tool and you're searching for the provider because they're with Henry Ford and they're not coming up. Or you're on like cms.gov and you're doing one of those where you're comparing against a bunch of competitors. Just keep in mind, look at those benefits. Don't pay too much attention as a differentiator when you're looking at whether or not that provider's in network with us, because our plans are true open network PPOs. So we have, for example, for the last 3-4 years that we've had the plan, we've had thousands of clients being billed and us being billed for clients who go to Henry Ford, who is not in network. They are friendly with our PPO. I will give 2 caveats to that. One major one is going to be dedicated and another major one is going to be Oak Street. Because of their contracting obligations on their back end, they cannot be friendly with our open PPO networks yet. Okay, hopefully we've got some opportunities for the future, but those are the 2 I would say, dedicated and Oak Street. If you've never heard of those and you don't know what I'm referring to, then pretend it doesn't exist. Throw it out of your mind. But for the most part, as long as the provider will agree to bill us in the state of Michigan, your client's good to go. Now, if your client ever has any questions about that, or if your client goes to their provider for the first time and they're not sure, this is a great flyer to have because you can customize this information straight from the toolkit. I also sent you this flyer, FYI, in that email, but you can customize this and send it to your client. Your client can take it with them when they go on the first day to see their provider. That explains it's a true open network PPO. But we also have some other important documents that we can help with not only the client and also the provider understanding how to bill us. We'll get to that in a second. But I did want to mention as well that for those of you who have clients that are snowbirds, like many of us, who live and reside permanently in the state of Michigan, but leave the state for a few months out of the year, your client can get access, so still at undifferentiated, true open network status, if they leave the state of Michigan, if they go to any of our over 1 million providers that participate in our national network. That's the largest national network of any carrier. So when they leave the state of Michigan, their plan will still stay undifferentiated, meaning they're not going to pay any extra for going, to any providers if they go to a provider that's participating in the national network when they leave the state of Michigan. Now, they still can see another provider that's not participating in that national network in another state, but they will have higher cost share, if that makes sense. And it's going to depend really upon the state and the provider and the services. So if they want to make sure that they're paying everything the same when they leave the state of Michigan, have them look up a provider in that state that is par with our national network. If they have a specific provider that they love to go to in Arizona, and that's just their go-to for Arizona, and it's a specialist, they can still see that specialist, but there is going to be a higher cost share. So just keep that in mind. So the quick reference guide, again, this is one of those documents I sent to you, but this is really important for those clients who are maybe a little trepidatious or go to a provider for the first time and they want to make sure their provider, who's not in network with us, knows how to bill us. All the provider has to do is send us the bill. So this quick reference guide has all the information about claim submission, whether the provider wants to submit the claims online, electronic, via paper, any information that the provider might need about appeals. All of that is going to be on that quick reference guide. So this is great for your client to have and then for that provider to have. If you ever need an instance of provider education, meaning you put the client on the open PPO, the client goes to the provider for the first time, and the provider is like, I don't think, Janice, we can take this because we're not in network with UnitedHealthcare. By all means, please don't waste your precious time by calling the provider and trying to problem solve. I just think it's too much work, to be honest with all of you. You guys already do so much customer service that I'd love for you guys to put that back on us. We have a provider education form. All you have to do is fill out that escalation form, send it to myself or Natalia. We send that directly to the provider education team who picks up the phone, calls the provider and says, hey, this is us with UHC. They talked about contracting, billing, the client, what's covered, how much that provider is going to get paid, how they bill us, all of that good stuff. 99.9% of the time when a provider turns a client away, it's because the billing department thinks we're not in network, we can't take this, we don't know what to do with it. 99.9% of the time, it's resolved by having someone from our education and billing team reach out and say, hey, this is education and billing with UHC. The client's on a true open network PPO. How do we get the bill to us? We want to pay you for it. And it's usually resolved. So again, if you have any provider education escalations, you don't need to go through member services. You don't need to call PhD for those. Fill out a form, send that directly to Natalia or myself, and we'll get that going for you. If you have any other member escalation, so non-provider, just any member escalation issues, just keep in mind you always have to have a call to either PhD or to member services directly before you can start that escalation process. Otherwise, it goes and it gets rejected, and then we have to go back to you and then have you call in. So make sure there's a call to member services about the issue before we can assist with an escalation. That does not apply to provider education. By all means, immediately, if a provider needs some education on billing us, send that over our way. We'd love to help. Just wanted to give you a cute little image and reminder for those of you who don't know or haven't seen this before. This is what our U card looks like. Every single MAPD and DSNP client across the entire nation for UnitedHealthcare gets a U card. And it looks just like this. It has their information on it, their name, their plan info. It has their RX info. It's what they'll use to pick up the prescriptions, to go to the dentist, the vision, the hearing, the regular primary, all of that good stuff. All of that information is on the front of the card. On the back of the card is the barcode that they use to get their activation code for the gym, for Renew Active, to utilize their OTC benefits, whether they're MAPD or DSNP, to utilize their food benefits if they're DSNP, to utilize rewards. So all of our clients have access to rewards dollars. So by doing just random things like going and checking in with their primary provider or being seen for the first time that year by their primary, they get like $10 of earned rewards. And those dollars go directly onto this card. So they can use it not only for regular OTC stuff, but even like buying a hat or buying like dog toys or dog treats, because it's not going to have the same rules as our OTC benefits. So all of that goes on to that barcode that's on this card. So this card is gold. It's what they'll use for everything, which keeps things really simple for the consumer. Consumers that do have OTC benefits or the OTC and food benefits have access to the S3 network, which is over 55,000 stores nationwide. So they can use it, whether they're using their OTC or the OTC food benefit, they can use that at Walmart, Kroger, Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Albertsons, everything in person. And then we also have Publix, but We don't have a Publix, unfortunately, yet here in Michigan. And for our DSNP clients, if they want to order ready-made mom's meals delivered to their home because of mobility issues of like purchasing groceries and actually being able to create and cook food at home, that's a big limitation for some of our DSNP clients. So we also have mom's meals that they can use their money on as well. Coming soon, still loading for 2024. We are still in the process of loading. As you can imagine, it is a very intensive process to make sure that all of these retail stores and retail networks have access to be able to scan the barcode and it actually work and use like money. And it's not just monopoly money. So we're still working on a couple of these and they're still being loaded into the system. So as always, make sure that you're going online or you're sending your consumer to, or your UHC member rather, directly to the UHC website, because they can look up all retailers near their home where they can use that OTC or that food benefit. But coming for 2024 is Meijer, Uber Eats, Sam's Club, Instacart, and Save-A-Lot. I also sent you the UCard quick reference guide that answers all the questions you might have about the UCard, how to use it. There's also an app version. So for those of your clients who you enroll them on the 29th or the 30th, and they want to be able to use their benefits on the 1st, especially the OTC or the food benefits. And I know how precious, those dollars really are. And they might not get their U card for a week or 2 weeks later. They can actually log in to the UHC app and pull up a virtual option of their U card, and it will have a barcode, and they can actually take that directly to Kroger, and Kroger will scan that instead of scanning the back of their barcode, so they can still use those dollars immediately upon their effective date. So any information or questions you might have about that, all that's going to be in that U card QRG that I sent you. And of course, I sent the dental QRG because, as a friendly reminder, all of our plans, both the open PPO plans as well as the 2 HMO DSNP plans we do have a PPO DSNP, but we have a full HMO DSNP, and then the partial DSNP is also HMO. All of our plans have at least POS for dental services. So all of our MAPD and DSNP clients can go out of network for dental coverage. We do own our own dental network, which is awesome, and it's pretty expansive. So your client isn't having to go to what's in the network for Delta Dental. They can just go straight to the UHC website and look up a dentist in their area, but they can go out of network for their dental benefit, whether they're on a PPO or an HMO. But there is the opportunity for being balance billed by a provider when a client goes out of network. So the dental QRG is really important just because it kind of breaks that down, so that if CMS says the filling max allowable rate for a filling should be, $300, but the provider sees, PPO DSNP, there's $2,500 of coverage for this client, we're charging them $500 for a filling. UHC is only going to pay up to that max CMS allowable, which would be that $300. So your client would get a bill from the provider for that $200. So it's important that you give this to the client if they're going to go out of network, and that the client has this conversation or gives this QRG over to their out of network provider. I have only seen a few instances where the balance billing has happened, and all but one of them were resolved once the provider got a breakdown and understanding of the balance billing and the max CMS allowable rates, and all of a sudden that balance bill disappeared. But if you ever have any questions about that, reach out to Natalia or myself. But all of the information for the provider on how to submit that, what's covered, what's not, any copays, any balance bill is all on that QRG that I sent all of you. And I just wanted to give a quick shout out to Renew Active. For those of you that sell MedSup, I know you're probably familiar with the Renew Active benefits and the gym network, but all of our MAPD and DSNP clients get Renew Active, which is super exciting because not only do they get access to over 26,000 physical gym locations nationwide, they also get the premium locations, and then they also get all those virtual fun options. Of course, lifetime is a huge call out. I get questions all the time, given, January 1st, the lifetime hours changing for us, for the other carrier who also allows you to go to lifetime, as well as the hours have changed for any of our 65 plus members who have a membership direct to Lifetime. If they have the senior citizen package direct to Lifetime and they don't upgrade to their premium, it's the same changed hours. So just keep that in mind. But there is changed hours with Lifetime. So if your client ever has any questions about when can I go to Lifetime, they have to reach out to their local Lifetime because they're who dictates those hours. But one call out I did want to give is that what's really cool about Renew Active when it comes to the physical gyms is that your client can have multiple simultaneous memberships at a time. So they can have memberships with all of these gyms all at the same time. They don't have to choose one. So what's cool about that is on Mondays at 10, they can go to Lifetime and go to their swimming class. And then on Wednesdays, they can go to Orange Theory. And on Thursdays, they can go to Pure Barre. So they can have multiple gym memberships all at the same time, which gives them a lot of flexibility. No pun intended regarding the gym and flexibility. Small joke there. I'm trying to keep us all alive at 11:30. So yeah, that's Renew Active. And I know I got through this really, really quick, you guys, but I'm excited to answer any questions. So let me know. I'll be here and I can help monitor the chat. I know Natalia's been on as well, but I think I got through in about 30 minutes. What do you think, Jason? Was that killer or was that killer?
Great job, of course. Pulled it off. All that information. No, that's awesome. A lot of great reminders. I know that we're all involved in this market heavily. We work with these products. We talk to these consumers, to our seniors, daily. But sometimes it does get confusing with all the different plan benefits, updates, changes. So obviously, you guys have done a great job putting together a package of benefits this year that everyone could be excited about and their clients can benefit from. So that is amazing.
Happy to hear. Happy to be of help. And again, especially given Natalia being on board, we've got a lot of help. So please reach out to us if you guys have any questions. We're here for you.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a great group. You guys do a great job locally. So we appreciate that. And of course, as Tabitha mentioned, if you have other questions or other needs, or we need to get you appointed to sell UnitedHealthcare, contact our team at Insurance Advisors Direct. Either Kristie or Cass are two of our leads on the UnitedHealthcare product. They'd be happy to get that paperwork to you, get you taken care of, whatever other questions you might have. And if not them, of course, the rest of our team are available for any and all things that, you may find important in your world of insurance. So we appreciate the partnership. Let me look again at questions. I don't see any questions or chat, Tabitha, so I think you did a great job covering all of it.
Awesome. And again, if anybody is missing that email that I sent out, of course, reach out to me or Natalia, but I know Cass and Kristie both have it as well. So feel free to reach out to the IAD team and they can get you those important documents. Everything that I mentioned in the actual presentation, I've sent all of those docs, which should make it pretty handy and helpful for everybody.
Okay, excellent. And I guess just to maybe wrap up, a couple quick announcements. In fact, Tabitha will be joining us and her team. We have our upcoming sales summit on April 3rd. That will be a full day event. So this time we're going to make it much bigger. We're going to have sponsorships. We're going to have speakers. We're going to have exhibit areas. We're going to have breakfast, lunch, some refreshments and other things in the afternoon. So come on out. We should be sending out an official invitation as well as an agenda within the next week or two. But again, mark that in your calendars. That is April 3rd. We'll have a carrier panel where we'll be talking about relevant matters within the Medicare space, within the under 65 ACA space. We do have agent panels. We have other top agents coming in to talk about how they're successful representing these products, cross-selling, whole bunch of other great things. So again, that's April 3rd. A couple other things coming up that you should see announcements on shortly. We should be rolling out our new CRM tool for 2024. We have very close behind that a new enrollment platform that we will be introducing our partners to. And thirdly, we are just now concluding our 2023 convention standings. So all of the winners those that will be coming with us to the Dominican Republic were just announced. So right behind that, we're finalizing where the destination is for 2024. So you'll see a teaser coming out, but know that the final details are being put together right now. But it started January 1. So any and all production that you're doing with us, whether it be UnitedHealthcare, any other carriers, any other products, those points count towards qualifying for our annual convention. So we want to thank those who qualified. Congratulations. And we look forward to hopefully having some of you who are on this today join us at future events or future trips and other agent awards contests that we like to put on throughout the year. So just a couple quick announcements to wrap up today's event. And we'll see if we have any other questions that came up. I don't see any. Do you have anything else to add before we conclude, Tabitha?
That's it. Thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for coming out. Thank you, everyone, for taking time out of your day. And we'll be in touch.
Bye, everyone. Thanks,
Bye now.
Jason.
Thank you.